Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. Today Group 1 from 2021 will be presenting about tenses in English writing. In this presentation, we will explain to you the usage of tenses in English writing with example from web article. Today's topic will be about food security. Without further ado, let's get on with the presentation.
Hello and good morning everyone. My name is Enshim. Today I'm going to share about present tense. What is present tense? Present tense describes actions occurring in the present, including regular habits, unchanging situations, general truths, and future events. There are four forms of present tense. The first one is simple present tense. The second one is present continuous tense. The third one is present perfect tense. And the last one is present perfect continuous tense. Now, let's look at the first form of present tense, which is simple present tense. Simple present tense is used to describe habits, unchanging situations, general truths, and fixed arrangement. The formation of simple present tense is verb at s or es. For example, the word play become plays, the word go become goes. Now let's look at the article example. Food security exists when people have access to enough safe and nutritious food for normal growth and development and an active and healthy life. The word exists is the simple present form of exist. Now, let's move on to the second form of present tense, which is present continuous tense. Present continuous tense is used to show that an ongoing action is happening now, either at the moment of speech or now in a larger sense. The present continuous can also be used to show that an action is going to take place in the near future. The formation of present continuous tense is verb to be plus is or are plus ing. For example, she is reading a book right now. Now let's look at the article example. China is working to diversify import sources and increase domestic production. The underlined word is working is an example of present continuous tense. Now let's move on to the third form of present tense, the present perfect tense. The present perfect tense refers to an action or state that either occurred at an indefinite time in the past or began in the past and continued to the present time. The formation of present perfect tense is verb to be plus have or has plus past participle. For example, I have finished my work. Let's look at the article example. 8,000 vulnerable households have received cash transfer to purchase food and tackle food insecurity. The underlined word have received is the example of present perfect tense. Now, let's look at the last form of present tense, the present perfect continuous tense. The present perfect continuous tense shows the continuousness of an action just completed. We use the present perfect continuous to show that something started in the past and has continued up until now. The formation of present perfect continuous tense is has or have plus mean plus verb plus ing. For example, she has been studying all day. Now, let's move on to the article example. FAO has been implementing a series of innovative, Dutch-funded sustainable development projects in the impoverished Lampiria Sol region of Honduras since 1988. The underlined word "has been implementing" is an example of present perfect continuous tense. That's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ivan. So right now I'm going to explain about the past tense. So the first one is simple past tense. It is a verb form that used to describe an action that were completed in the past. For example, here is in 2024, over 295 million people across 53 countries and territories experienced acute level of hunger. So the word experience that were highlighted in the sentence describe, and complete action that were already took place in the past, which is in 2024. So next is past perfect tense. Past perfect tense is a verb form that used to describe an action that happened in the past and been completed. As the article says here is, the FAO food price index had reached its highest level since 2011. So why is the sentence had reached is the past perfect tense, you may ask? Because the food price index had reached its highest level since 2011. So think of it as a past of the past, as the problem has been completed. So, what is past continuous tense? Past continuous tense is a verb form that used to describe an ongoing action in the past. As the article says that by 2018, more than 386,000 Haitians were experiencing severe hunger, a number that has since grown to an estimated 5.7 million. So the phrase that were highlighted in the sentence tell us that "we're experiencing" is the phrase that was still an ongoing problem. It's not a single moment, but is a continuing action. For the last past tense is the past perfect continuous tense. It is a verb form that used to describe an action that was continuing and completed before another action started in the past. As the article says, in June, 7.1 million people had been facing critical food insecurity. As of today, an estimated 4.3 million people were still facing critical food insecurity. As the phrase that were highlighted in the sentence, which is had been facing, tell us that the problem of facing hunger was happening a long time ago, and it was a continuous struggle that leading up to a specific point in time.
And lastly, I will present to you about the future tenses. Future tenses are verb forms that we use to describe actions, events, or situations that will happen after the present times. There are four forms of future tenses. The first one is simple future tense. The second one, future continuous tense. The third one, future perfect tense. And lastly, future perfect continuous tense. The first one is the future simple tense. The future simple tense is used when an action is promised or thought to occur in the future. The structure of the tense is subject plus will or shall plus the verb. As we can see in the example, however, strategic policy options to activate them will have to outsmart vested interests. This shows that the action is expected to happen in the near future. Subject in this example is the strategic policy options, will acts as a future marker, and the verb is have to outsmart. The next one is future continuous tense. Future continuous tense describes an action that will be in progress at a certain time in the future. The structure of the tense is subject plus will or shall plus the verb plus ing. As in the example, today we will be seeing in the future. This tells us that the action will be ongoing at that future moment. In this example, we is a subject, will be acts as a future continuous marker, and verb plus ing is seeing. The third one is the future perfect tense. Future perfect tense describes an action that will be completed sometimes in the future, before another action takes place in the future. The structure of this tense is subject plus will or shall plus have plus the past participle. As the example given, insufficient progress will have been made. This means that the progress will already be completed by that future time. In the example, the subject is insufficient progress. Will have acts as a future perfect marker, and the past participle is been made. And lastly, future perfect continuous tense. The future perfect continuous tense describes an action that will have been happening for some time and will be completed at a specific moment in the future. The structure of the tense is subject plus will or shall plus have been plus verb ing. In the slide example, all the effort in those 15 years will have been wiped out. The subject in the example is all the effort in those 15 years will have been acts as a future perfect continuous marker, and verb in a passive form is wiped out. This shows that the effort, which was continued for 15 years, will be completely lost by a future time. That brings us to the end of the presentation. I hope our presentation helps you understand tenses in English writing better. If you have any questions regarding the topic, please feel free to ask in the comment section.